Hello everybody and welcome to this rant on, this is more in depth about the current state of WWE, more inside on the announcers and the lack of a heel commentator. Uh, if you notice right now in the WWE there is no true heel. There's no, like when you take a notice at the Attitude Era, even in WCW, you had that person always going against the play-by-play. There was always that sort of bickering going on, which spiced up the event and also sold talent 10 times better. You have a guy like Bobby the Brain Heenan, which I think is absolutely the best. He went up there and he trashed all the faces and he stood up for all the heels, which in my opinion what it did was it gave depth. It added so much more of a bigger element to the heels, and at the same time it added depth to the character, to the face characters at the same time, and you don't really see that anymore. And because I have a strong feeling WWE is just putting out talent and saying sink or swim, do this or that, and that's not a way that people are going to actually respond in that sort of way. With them trying to put in that element of like a sporting event like in MMA, trying to have them not listing names of refs and this and that and all these stupid ideas that they're coming up with, and I don't know where they get them from. Well, that is something that they definitely need as a heel announcer. I seen TNA's Don West make the heel turn, which the heel turn was pretty good. Even the video package of the heel turn was damn good. The sort of how he's been doing lately as the heel, it's more wow. It's not as good as when he first did the first turn, but he's still working it pretty okay, I guess. Now you have JR and King, which this is along the same subject. You have King, who was not exactly a heel, but he played the position as if he didn't care about, not so much cared about the events, but he sold talent in a separate different way. He sold the women as being sexy and this and that, and he sold a whole different side of the product, which added that element of we needed the women's division. Now you have two women's titles with no one selling it, so where do you go from there? They don't have these different commentators to exactly sell the product certain ways. JR sold those gigantic moments, but you don't have too many. You have too many of those moments. They can't exactly be sold in that light so many times, so it takes away the effect. Which also brings me to the point of the Hell in a Cell match, and the stupidest idea in the entire world is to run it for an entire pay-per-view. Who the hell wants to see Goldust versus Shelton Benjamin in a Hell in a Cell match? I don't. I don't want to see Tommy Dreamer in a Hell in a Cell match. These are usually regarded for the top superstars like the Undertakers, the Triple H's, the Shawn Michaels, the Rocks, the Austins, the Kurt Angles, those kind of guys. It's either you're in the main event or you're so close to the main event that they're going to put you there. Now it's going to be elevated to openers and mid-carders as well, which takes away the effect of what the Hell in a Cell actually is. All those great moments like the first ever one with Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. You could even go, I could say that, the Triple H versus the Cactus Jack, and the retirement versus WWF title match. All those great moments will be lost because they're making it, and I feel that it's just such a stupid move, just like naming an entire pay-per-view breaking point so every move can be a submission. I don't see how that's going to even draw well at all. I thought that was a very stupid move, since submission matches aren't that great of a draw to begin with. It troubles me how they're thinking and sort of how they're picking these things out, which to me there's no true logic to it. Like taking the refs' names, you can no longer say the refs' names anymore, which is sort of like, you do know the refs, and I guess it could be a point that you took a ref and made him bigger than life itself. And like Earl Hebner, and he went to TNA, and he still has that name. He still has his name with him, of course, because it's his. Guys like Nick Patrick, I believe half of them got fired, to be honest. All those older referees. and they're just nameless right now, and it just takes away a sort of element there. Especially you can create a storyline with a referee in certain spots there. Uh, the WWE is in such a bad shape. It is ridiculous. That's why I opted not to go along with the whole bash thing. I did watch the pay-per-view, but like I believe I said before that the Chris Jericho versus Rey Mysterio match is probably the best thing on that card. It is a damn good match, and that is probably, I would not pay $40 just to watch one match, but if it did come out on DVD maybe 7 months down the road when it gets a little cheaper than like 25 bucks, then I would say buy it just for that one match, and the ending of the Punk versus Jeff Hardy match. That is the only things I would actually recommend from that pay-per-view. Raw sucked. They absolutely killed the ECW brand by taking every single major star that ECW kind of even produced and moved them to Raw or SmackDown, and now you only have two names to go upon. I don't see the point of having a show just to kill it off. That does not make sense. I don't understand why you would take something like WCW that had an entire name, an entire roster, that was known around the entire world, and absolutely kill it off just because it wasn't your own. I don't see the point of actually taking something like ECW, which had an independent fan base, not using it in that sort of light, especially with something like One Night Stand. That's where it was definitely going with the independent thing. Uh, I don't see the point of owning an entire video vault, if you will, and never actually using it. Uh, Starrcade could have been better. A lot of these DVDs could have been top-notch, best matches that they've ever had, and yet they're coming up subpar, which makes absolutely no sense to me. Uh, so far, one of the best things this year is I actually picked up the Macho Man Randy Savage DVD, and I absolutely enjoyed it. Certain things I didn't enjoy, Greatest Stars in the 90s. I did not think that was so great. Uh, it's just this fluctuation of they don't know what they're doing, but you have to give them credit because they have been doing it for so many years, and they have definitely lost touch of what the audience wants. Some people refer to it as the wrestling bubble and things like this, but there's certain elements missing, and this is something I would like to discuss. So if you guys would actually comment down below, just let me know your thoughts on what do you feel is actually missing in the WWE. Those are some of my things. Later.